Well, after being bored and taking a week off from my planner, I'm back and just want to share with you today my Hobonichi GTD Core planner. All right, so if that sounds interesting, stay with me. Well, hi everyone. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And I guess because I'm a retired teacher, that whole school supply, new planner, all the shiny things are out there. And I've just been feeling a little bored with my planner. That's what the last video that I did was about. But today I have something new and exciting to share with you. So, if that sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe if you have not already. Please feel free to share this video with anybody who you think is struggling with planning or would really like to create their own weekly layout. If they're a bullet journaler or they just journal in a composition book or they're a digital planner, whatever that they might like to do. Because today I'm going to take you on a little journey as I talk about how I recreated a brand new weekly planner page for myself for the month of August and hopefully into the remainder of the year. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I want to look at the computer and show you what I've been working on. Okay. Well, the first thing that I did is I sat down and I thought to myself, what do I really need, the operative word, in a weekly planner layout? And I decided I would mark those things in yellow. And then what would be nice to add to a weekly page if I could? Okay, so I started this on my iPad. You can tell by my handwriting of my Apple Pencil, which, by the way, is right here. So I have, my iPad and my Apple Pencil kind of goes everywhere with me. And, I love like thinking on paper, being able to do this kind of work on my iPad because it's much easier than typing everything and rearranging boxes and that kind of thing. So I really do like that. So this page was done on my iPad, but you're currently seeing it showing up on my desktop screen. Now, how does that work? Well, everything syncs to the cloud and I can see everything that I do in OneNote on my desktop, on my iPad, on my phone. It all connects and syncs up together, okay? So actually, as I was sitting here working on my iPad the other day, it actually shows up on the screen. Let me show you what I mean. It's really cool how fast it syncs. Okay, so let's say up here at the top where it says what I really need and what I really want. If I take my pen and I just draw a simple little heart, you see it comes right up on the screen. I just think that's so cool. I love the sync ability of OneNote. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Okay? All right, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm trying to focus. So what I want and what would be nice to add to a weekly planner, okay? Then let me scroll out a little bit for you. You can see that I started a weekly planner page needs over here. And it's a good thing that OneNote has infinite pages because I got a little big on this one. But my weekly page needs all kind of went on this page. And what I really did is I went back through all of the weeks that I used that I showed in the last video. I'll leave that linked if you want to see it. And I really analyzed those pages. What worked really well on those pages for me and what didn't work or what I didn't need, okay? So that's kind of how I came up with this particular list. So if you look here, you see things like, well, the weekly compass from the Franklin Planner page, that would be nice to have on my weekly and help me kind of organize my whole week with the areas of focus and the goals and activities and that kind of thing. That would be nice. Also, it would be nice if I could have my weekly tasks that I am supposed to do every week. That would be really helpful, okay? And you see that now I've colored all of these yellow because I really feel like I need these. The problem that I was having is I liked my Hobonichi weeks. And let me show you what it looked like when I was using that. It's just a basic Hobonichi Weeks layout. And I created this using the actual Hobonichi Weeks book. There's a video about that if you'd like to see how I created that. But what I was finding is that I needed a little bit more. I didn't have enough information on this page, even though I tried many different ways. So what I wanted to do is keep using the Hobonichi Weeks, but add the other things back to it, okay? So as you can see down here on my mind map, I started making a list. Links to current projects and next action items. I also wanted to add the wins that I had for that week. You know, all the good things that happened. I wanted to put those on there. I needed a place for my home chores. I needed a place for a prayer list. Especially this week, my prayer list after church on Sunday was like this long. It was really, you know, there's a lot of people in need out there. Notes and ideas, meal planning based on what activities we're doing, places to write things to buy and errands to run. It's nice to have a little mini calendar so that I can kind of get an overview of, you know, where I am in the month. A waiting on section or a delegated area, that's kind of nice to have. A place for my gratitude, morning and evening routines, communications with this little checkbox here means my customized tags that I use. Okay, so I want to make sure that I put those on there as well. Same as to buy and errands. I have my customized tags there. And the crux of the whole thing, the most important thing is those appointments that you have for that week and date specific items. So that's kind of written big over here, like so that I can, keep that top of mind. Okay. Things that I thought would be nice to have, you can barely read it up here. The green on pink doesn't really show up, but that says decor or decorations. I really like to add decorations to my planner. And I think that would be nice. And then down here at the bottom, I have a daily schedule or time tracking. That would be nice to have also. I haven't quite worked that one in yet. But you'll see when I show you the weekly page here in just a minute, I pretty much have gotten all of these other things on my page. And it still looks like a Hobonichi Weeks. So what I really learned after doing this whole mind map and going back and researching the weeks that I've used in the past that I really, really liked and pulled bits and pieces from each weekly layout that I had, what I really, really learned was I need to get back to the core of GTD. And you may be asking me, well, Crystal, what is the core of GTD? And GTD is a big, complex system. It's based on the book by David Allen, and GTD stands for Getting Things Done. Okay? And for me, the core of GTD is right here, what I have organized on the screen for you. Core is to capture those things in your mind that come in your inbox, that come in your mail, that come from somebody speaking to you or, sending you a message, capturing that information, clarifying it. Do I need to do anything with this? Is this an actionable item? Is this just reference? What am I doing with this? Organizing it in all of those lists that I have listed in my mind map. Things to buy, places to go, people to communicate with, people to pray for. What am I waiting on? All of those important lists, okay? That's the organizing part. Then reflecting every day and reviewing every day. What still needs to be done? When do I have time to do that today? And making a plan for that. And then the final for core is to engage, meaning to look at your stuff and see what you're supposed to be doing. Execute, do those things that you can do, okay? Now, it's funny that I came across this and thought to myself, well, I need to get back to the core of GTD. And I sat down at my computer and went up here to the little search button and typed in core of GTD, and it brought me to this page, which I created in my 2024 life planner, so over 2 years ago. Giving yourself control and focus, getting things done. There's David Allen's book. And GTD is managing information and workflow by capturing, getting all the information in one place, out of your head, your inbox, your brain dump, all of that in one place. Clarify, figure out the next action. Is it actionable? If not, store it somewhere else because it doesn't need to be on your action list if it's simply reference or it's just a note that doesn't really mean anything. It can be discarded, okay? Organize, put it where it needs to go. Does it need to go on your calendar? Is it a date-specific thing? Is it a next action with specific context, place, and time? Like, I will do this the next time I'm in the office. I will do this the next time I'm at the doctor's office, something like that, okay? Does it belong on a project plan? Is it part of a project, or do you need to create a new project plan for that? Is it something that you've delegated or you've ordered and you're waiting on it, or you're waiting for more information about that? Is it something to buy? Is it an errand? Is it just a dream fantasy, maybe someday, and you want to put it on your someday maybe list? Is it a reference item that you want to keep for the future? Okay. All right, and then reflect and review daily or weekly. The important word here is consistently. To consistently go through your inbox, your calendar, your list, your projects, that kind of thing, and engage daily. Look at those calendar date specific things. What are the next actions that you need to be doing? Check on those waiting on items. If you need to nudge somebody and say, hey, I'm still waiting for that report, you might want to do that. And then when you look at your projects, you're really looking at what's the next small action that you can do to move that project forward, okay? So I talk about all the time how storing stuff in OneNote is so valuable, and you can search and go back and not have to recreate. And when I looked at this, I realized right away, with a little stutter at the beginning, this is my core of GTD, which I think is really, really funny, okay? All right, let's go back to the core of GTD here on my brain mind map that I did. And I want to show you now the page that I've come up with, kind of the Hobonichi GTD Core page is what I'm going to be calling it, okay? So if you look here on my screen for the first week of August, you can still see right here in this purple box right here, this is all my Hobonichi stuff, okay? So I have the date going down the side, the time specific. Let me zoom in so you can see. I have the month, which is month 8, and week 32. I have August 2026. These are the column for the important date-specific things. Tasks that I need to do go here in the middle, and notes about those tasks here, okay? So if you look here, you can see for Monday, I only had one meeting. I needed to clean the pool and do a dump run, take all the trash out, which, because I live in the country, so I have to go to the dump. I don't have trash pickup, okay? All right, and so on and so on. So I'm just getting started in my week organizing things. I don't have a lot going on this week except for Tuesday. I had doctor's appointments and there's a play that I want to go see. But Wednesday is completely wide open. Thursday is wide open. Friday, I have my weekly scheduled review. That is that consistency of going back and checking things, okay? And then, of course, Sunday, I have church. But otherwise, I don't have a lot of task-specific or day-specific things going on. So I can just fill in a place for my tasks here, okay? Now, let me move on and show you something that I have added down here at the bottom. I added a next week section because I don't like surprises. I like to know what's coming up. So I want to have this next week section down here so that I can put if it's somebody's birthday or a program that I'm going to or something like that, okay? Then what I did down here at the bottom is I made a menu plan. So I have Monday, I've already planned out everything that we're going to have this week. Tonight for the show, we're going to take a picnic. So you see I have this meal plan here that's very helpful for me. Here are some of the people that I added from my prayer list. And this was actually my prayer list from church. I just took a picture of it and put it in here because it was so long this week. Okay. Then communications, people that I wanted to reach out to. And again, I'm using my customized tags so that when I do reach out to that person, I can go ahead and put a check in that box. And like, for example, if I come down here and I have another person that I need to communicate to, this will say call or text. And this person happens to be my friend Linda, who I just got off the phone with. So I will give her a check as well. Okay. All right, so the customized tags work great for that. Going again across the bottom, I'm just kind of roaming around here on my page. I have my errands and my to buy things. One of the activities for the month of August is to restock my office supplies. That's like on my, my financial things is, those are things that are on sale. And the only thing that I really need is tape. So I need a couple of those little tape dispensers. So I put that on there as well. Okay. I even was able to work in my mini calendar for this month, which I think is great. And like I said, this is week 32 right here. All right. I did put a very small waiting on list up here. But again, because everything that I do is in tables, this is a whole big table. If I type things here, like I'm waiting on the skirt that I ordered here, so I can type in skirt, and now I can go up here to my customized tags, and I can find waiting on, and you see it puts that little waiting on box there. Then when my skirt gets delivered, I can put a check there, okay? That way I don't forget things. Now, if I had something else, I could simply hit enter again, and I would get another one of those waiting on boxes. And here is where I'm also waiting for my Chewy order for the cats. Okay. So I like having things in tables because they can expand as I need them to. Now I have 2 blank boxes here that I don't have anything in. So if I find something that I need to add throughout the week, I can put those in those boxes. Okay. All right, let's go back. We talked about the whole bottom. We talked about this whole side here. I added some things at the top because one of the things that I found that I was missing was some focus on what projects I was doing, okay? And David Allen says to check your projects list every week and find the next thing that can move that project along. So I have a place here where I can put the 3 projects, the top 3 projects that I'm working on for that week, and write out specifically what the next action is, okay? So maybe it's a table runner that I'm creating in quilting. Maybe it is a video that I am planning and I need to do a little bit of research on. Maybe it is a home project and I need to do a little bit of design work on, room layout or something like that. Okay. So I can put the project and I can put the next action. I also love OneNote because not only can I put the project, but I can link to that page so that I am able to go to that page very, very quickly. Okay. All right. Now moving on across the page, I was able to squeeze in a little section up here for my weekly gratitude. And you see here that I already have added some things. Time with my daughter is always fun. My husband works very hard around the house now that he's retired too. And, I'm just so grateful for him and his help. And I am also looking forward to that play tonight. So I wrote down the creative actors who put on a great show because I know this is going to be a great show. Okay. Then celebrate the wins. That is a way for me to reflect and really say, these are the big things that I am proud of that I got accomplished this week. And working on this new weekly layout, I think, is one of my wins for this week. Okay. All right, moving on across, I have left a space for some decor here up in this top corner, which I think is nice. And then I also have here a section of to-dos or weekly goals or tasks that need to be done, okay? This relates back to my yearly goals, which is something that I didn't have on my Hobonichi for the last couple of weeks and months. And I think that's maybe why I was getting a little off because I wasn't checking on my goals. But this layout here gives me something for each single thing, each one of my goals. So for Crystal Clear Life, my YouTube channel, I have film and edit new weekly Hobonichi GTD page, which is what I'm doing right now. A friends meet up tonight. Someone else is joining me for Romeo and Juliet, so that will be fun. I need to call my sister when she gets back from her trip later this week. I haven't scheduled a date night yet with my husband, but I need to do that. Walking 8K every day. I put that in there because that's just part of my routine now. I don't even really have to think about that. I just finished a book today, so I wrote down the title of that book so I wouldn't forget to add it to my book journal. Meal plan's already done. You saw it over there tucked in the corner. I know everything that I'm having for dinner this week. It's been very hot. We've been eating a lot of salads, okay? I have not picked a creative project yet because I've been gone for almost 2 weeks and I'm not even ready to start another creative project. Expense logging is something that I need to do. I do that every week. And then it's back to zone 1 cleaning because it's the first week. If you follow the Fly Lady, zone 1 is the entry. And in my case, also the dining room and the front and back porches. So my husband, my hardworking husband, just power washed the back deck because it was getting a little dirty by midsummer. So all of that is good. So zone 1 helps keep me focused in what I need to be working on in the house, okay? And then there's that basement project where I'd like to go down there and work and organize for 30 minutes, at least once a week, okay? All right. Underneath of that is a note that I just added from the phone call that I got off of, with my friend Linda. She recommended 2 new books for me to check out. One is called The Invisible Bridge and one is called The Bookshop Below. So I went ahead and put those in there. This is my customized tag for books to read, so that if I go through and do a search of all of my tags, all of the books that I have listed to read show up in, under that customized tag. It's kind of like a hashtag that people use in other social media. So I left those there as notes. And then I also have my weekly chores to do over here. Okay. Now what I do here, for those of you who are new, is I created these little icons in PowerPoint, and I, put the information underneath of them so that I would know what they were. And then as I do things, all I will simply do is go up here to my draw tool and I will pick some sort of highlighter. Let's pick a different color. I'll do blue today. And like I said, I went to the trash yesterday. So all I'll do is highlight it. And then I know that the trash has been taken out for the week and everything is good. Okay. I also made those texts and phone calls, so I can mark that out. And you see, it's very easy. Just from looking at this, I still know I haven't done any laundry this week. I haven't mopped the floors this week, so I still know what needs to be done at a glance. Okay. All right. So that takes care of everything that is in the old section that was the Hobonichi Weeks, which starts here with this purple section and goes across. You see I added a couple of tables on the top just to kind of get those priorities and focus, gratitude, and wins in there. And then what I did is I also came in here and I added from my Franklin Planner this weekly compass. So let me zoom in and show you that. Now the weekly compass is really where you take a look at all of the areas of your life and you talk about what are the most important things that you need to do there, okay? These first 4 right here let me highlight them a little bit for you so you can see. These first 4 right here are really about sharpening the saw. They're about taking care of yourself. In today's world, we would call them self-care. When the Franklin Planner was created years ago, there's a story about sharpening the saw and how your work is done easier when you have tools that are sharp and ready. In this case, I am the tool, and these are the things that I need to do to keep myself sharp and ready. Okay, so physical, walking, training, diet, taking my medicine, getting my 8 hours of sleep, hydrating, recording my data, all of that kind of stuff. For social and emotional, I need to have events that I do out and about with others and communicating with my husband. For mental, I need to make sure that I've rest and planned, that I read, that I learn new things, and that I am writing things down, okay? And for spiritual things, the best thing that I can do is spend time in nature. That's why I do gardening, because I can get out there and see all the beautiful flowers and the critters and that kind of thing. I have a value system that I look at and I review often. And self-reflection. You know, how are things going? What do I need to do? That's how I got myself into this whole creating a new weekly plan, because I realized that things were slipping through the cracks and I was not happy with my minimal weekly layout. I need to see everything that I'm responsible for all in one place. That's why I went back and recreated this page, okay? Then these next ones are your various roles. So I have a role as a spouse and a mom. Everybody's roles are different, you know, and so that's why it just says role, and then you fill in your own role. But I have a role as a spouse and a mom. So when I start to plan my week, I need to think about what are those big things, what are those important things that I need to do as a mom or as a spouse, okay? And one thing is my husband wants to have a date night this week. And actually, we did a movie night together as a family. And we watched the Enola Sherlock movie, which the second one, number 2. I know number 3 is out, but we haven't gotten there yet. So we watched that and we had a movie night together as a family. So that was really, really fun. Okay. Another role that I have is as a friend. So, for example, tonight we're going to the Shakespeare show, and that's going to be a meetup, you know, with friends. So that's going to be fun as well. And then for Crystal Clear Life, I have videos that I have to film and edit and comments to respond to and all of that kind of thing. Okay. For church, you know, I have to think about what is the big thing. And for this week, I'm in charge of cleaning the sanctuary. So I have that down as an important thing to do. Creatively, I said I am not ready to start a brand new creative project, although my sister would like a purse. She would like me to make a purse. We talked about the size and everything that she needs. So I need to make a purse for my sister. Okay. And then home and garden. About the only thing that we need to do in the garden right now is weed, and water, because it's so hot and the weeds are growing like crazy. And so really when I do this weekly compass, it really helps focus me into what I need to be doing specifically. Okay. And then down at the bottom, the last thing I have on here is my morning routine and my evening routine, okay? Now, the interesting thing is that all of this still fits on my background page that I've created. It fits a little bit tighter than the old Hobonichi weeks, but that's okay. The good news is if I need to make my background page bigger, I could do that as well, okay? So I'm going to try this new weekly layout. I'd love to hear your ideas, your thoughts about what you think I maybe could put in these 2 extra boxes. You notice that I don't have a lot of habits on here because I habit track somewhere else. I like a bigger monthly overview of my habits, or sometimes even a yearly overview of my habits. So I like to do that on a different page. So I don't really need habit tracking on my weekly pages. But I'd love to know your ideas and let me know what you think I could add to this page, or what you like or you don't like about it. If you have a better idea for how these things might be arranged, that would be fun to hear also. So leave me a comment and let me know what you think about my new Hobonichi GTD weekly layout. All right. Well, you know what? Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I love creating these videos for you guys, and I get so many nice comments from you about all the things that you have learned and all of the things that you're implementing in your own life. And again, as a retired teacher, there's nothing better than a sweet little note from a student that says, "Thanks for helping me. I learned something new and I'm going to use it in my own life." So I love that. Keep those comments coming. That's great motivation for me. And until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.